Hello, we are Mysterious Case. In today's episode, let's look back at the case of Trent Paschal. Please support us with a like, subscribe, and leave a comment after watching the full video. Thank you. Wishing you a joyful day, and don't forget to stay safe and love those around you. On October 21st, 2020, the small town of Lamarck near Houston, Texas, was shaken by a horrific case. Trent Paschal, 48 years old, murdered his wife, Savannah Pascal, 30 years old, right in their home at 400 Hawksview Drive. Before committing the act, Trent recorded a video over 4 minutes long and posted it on YouTube, claiming to be the victim, blaming Savannah for infidelity, and leaving a final message for their daughter, Mackenzie. From a family that seemed happy with radiant social media photos, the reality was a series of days filled with control, emotional abuse, and tragedy. Savannah, a devoted mother who worked at a funeral home and was full of compassion, decided to leave Trent after nearly 8 years of a painful marriage. But that fateful confrontation ended with her death, leaving 2 young children orphaned. Trent fled, was shot by police, then released on bail before taking his own life on New Year's Eve 2021, robbing Savannah's family of their chance for justice. The case is not just a family tragedy, but also a warning about the violence hidden behind perfect facades. Savannah Pascal was born on August 22, 1990, in Pasadena, Texas. From a young age, she was an energetic, cheerful girl who participated in activities like gymnastics, dance, ice skating, and horseback riding, her greatest passion. Savannah had a warm heart, especially for animals, and once dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. However, after witnessing the pain of injured animals at a clinic, she shifted to culinary arts, then later transitioned to working at a funeral home, a job she believed was her mission. She became a single mother at 19, as the child's father, for some reason, was not someone she wanted to spend her life with. Trent Paschal, born in North Shore, Texas, 18 years older than Savannah, was a confident, successful man with his own construction company. When he met Savannah in 2012 at a grocery store, he quickly won her affection with his maturity and striking appearance. Savannah, then 22 and a single mother to her 3-year-old son William, found in Trent a sense of security. Just a few months later, they married. A year after that, their daughter Mackenzie was born, completing the picture of an ideal family. But behind the happy social media photos, a dark reality slowly emerged. The Paschal family appeared to be a happy home. Photos of Trent and Savannah on Facebook overflowed with loving words, "I have a beautiful wife," or "together forever." But in reality, their marriage was a series of days filled with control and tension. Trent, with a confidence bordering on arrogance, gradually revealed his domineering nature. He began restricting Savannah's interactions with friends, criticizing her for relationships he deemed inappropriate, and even forbidding her from going out without his permission. Money also became a tool for Trent to manipulate his wife. Though Savannah worked hard at the funeral home and was studying to become a funeral director, all her earnings had to be handed over to Trent. He didn't trust banks, kept cash at home, and only gave Savannah a small amount that he decided himself. This stripped her of financial independence, even though she earned more than him when his construction company struggled during the 2020 pandemic. Trent's insecurity grew as he suspected Savannah of infidelity. He constantly texted her, demanding proof of her whereabouts, checked her phone, and criticized her for wearing makeup or dressing nicely, accusing her of trying to attract others. Once, he found an old photo of Savannah with a high school boyfriend and forced her to tear it up. Arguments erupted frequently, sometimes with Trent becoming so enraged that it frightened Savannah, prompting her to avoid him until he calmed down. Her family, especially her mother, Shirley, saw the danger clearly, but Savannah still held on to hope that things would improve. By 2020, Savannah's life began to change. The pandemic left Trent's construction company struggling, while her job at the funeral home became busier than ever due to COVID. For the first time, Savannah became the primary breadwinner in the family, a reversal that unsettled Trent. He felt his position threatened, and his control over his wife grew even harsher. He installed a tracking app on Savannah's phone, eavesdropped on her calls, and repeatedly accused her of infidelity despite having no evidence. But it was during this period that Savannah started to recognize she was in a toxic relationship. She began participating in fundraising activities for victims of domestic violence as a way to rediscover meaning in her life. On October 20th, 2020, she posted on Facebook about collaborating with Bay Area Turning Point to collect donations for women and children escaping domestic violence. Her work and these experiences gave her clearer insight into her own situation. She wasn't just helping victims. She was one herself. Savannah decided to leave Trent. She confided in her parents, Shirley and Michael, about her intention to divorce. They advised her to leave quietly while Trent was away to avoid danger, but Savannah wanted to confront him directly. She believed a candid conversation was necessary after nearly 8 years together. On the morning of October 21st, 2020, she told Trent she no longer wanted to continue the marriage. The discussion quickly escalated into a fierce argument. Trent stormed out, and Savannah, in a panic, ran to a neighbor's house before returning home with her mother, Shirley, by midday. She didn't know that Trent had come back and was preparing for a tragedy. When Savannah and her mother, Shirley, returned to the house on Hawksview Drive at noon on October 21st, 2020, Trent was already there, quietly preparing for his plan. Earlier, he had recorded a video and uploaded it to YouTube just before taking action.
I'm recording this because I want my daughter to know that I love you, Mackenzie Pascal. I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me. And William, I love you too. I love you so much. I love you like you're my own. I didn't choose this. Your mom chose this. She's been cheating on me for a long time. I have audio of her talking to other guys. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. When we first got together, I told her, "You're too young for me." There's an 18-year-old difference in her age. And I knew she was kind of too young, but she's been playing me for a fool. I told her not to mess with me, not to mess with my emotions. Don't play with me. I got an audio where she was calling a guy yesterday on her way to get her eyelashes done. And she said, "Hey, baby." And he goes, "Hey." And I was like, "That's not my voice. Why is she calling somebody else baby?" Then she started talking about a dream and everything. And she had with them too about sex and everything. And I put everything into this relationship. I have done nothing to your mom. I've never hit her. I've never hurt her. I've never called her names. A couple of times when I got really mad, I would say a bad word or something, but I've done everything I can. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm like, why me? My hair's a mess and I look horrible. Oh, sorry. Take these off. I love you, Mackenzie. I love you so much. Please do something good with your life. Please do something really good, because you deserve a good life. And I don't know what else to say. I'm so sorry. I don't have better words right now. I'm hurting so bad. I don't know what else to do anymore. I didn't do nothing wrong to her. I provided what I could. I've done what I could for her. I've done nothing but good for her. And I've treated y'all good. I've done good things for y'all. And I don't know what else to say. I love you, Mackenzie. I love you so much. Do something good with your life. Make me proud. Make me very proud. And Mom, I love you. You've been the angel through my whole life, taking care of me. You're there when I need you. You've always answered the phone for me. You've done everything. Sorry, I keep looking at the cameras. I don't know how much time I have. But I've never done anything like So I don't know. I was going back. My mind is everywhere. I can't concentrate right now. I didn't. Anyways, Mom, I love you so much. You're my angel. I love you. You mean everything to me. And Dad, you've done a lot for me too. And you've taken care of me. You raised me good. You've done whatever you could. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you so much. You love me like your own.
The video cut off abruptly when Trent noticed through the security camera that Savannah and Shirley had returned home. He quickly turned off the camera, grabbed a gun, and hid in the bathroom of the master bedroom, standing behind the shower curtain. As Shirley entered the bathroom, Trent suddenly emerged, pointing the gun at her and coldly declaring, "I'm going to kill both you and Savannah." He pulled the trigger, but fortunately, the shot missed, only piercing the tiled wall. In a panic, Shirley fled outside, stumbling several times on the lawn before escaping to a neighbor's house. Meanwhile, Trent found Savannah in the living room. Without hesitation, he fired multiple shots into her abdomen. After committing the act, he stepped outside, called Savannah's aunt Sharon, and calmly announced, "I just killed Savannah." Shirley, from a distance, heard the gunshots and screams and rushed back to the house. She was devastated to find her daughter lying on the floor, blood pooling around her. Despite being rushed to the hospital shortly after, Savannah didn't survive, leaving behind her two young children, William, her son from a previous relationship, 11 years old, and Mackenzie, 7 years old, motherless. After killing Savannah, Trent didn't stay at the scene. He immediately got into his Chevrolet Colorado truck and drove off. Meanwhile, neighbors called the police, and authorities quickly arrived at the house on Hawks View Drive. Savannah was rushed to emergency care, but all efforts to save her were in vain. Trent's YouTube video was also discovered, serving as clear evidence of his intent before the act. About 45 minutes after the crime, police spotted Trent's truck in a parking lot near a Walmart north of Houston, not far from Lamarck. They surrounded the vehicle and ordered him to surrender, but Trent didn't give up easily. As he stepped out of the truck, he pulled a gun from his waistband and aimed it directly at the officers, ignoring their warnings. A brief shootout ensued. Trent was shot in the arm, leg, and abdomen, collapsing to the ground. The officers subdued him, handcuffed him, and took him to the hospital in critical condition. Remarkably, even while severely injured, Trent expressed dissatisfaction, telling the police they had done a lousy job for not killing him.
Investigators say the man shot was on the run, accused of killing his estranged wife. The murder investigation began earlier today in Lamarck. The deputy involved shooting happened tonight in the parking lot of a Walmart off the North Freeway and West Road, just south of the North Belt.
There is still a heavy law enforcement presence out here right now. Excuse me, and you can see it right behind me. Most of their focus has been back on that side of the parking lot. You can see a car and a truck back there. A lot of deputies looking over there as part of their investigation. As you were mentioning before, Harris County deputies were looking for the murder suspect out of Lamarck, and they ended up here at this Walmart after getting information that that person might be here. Now, when deputies spotted him in a different car, they then pursued that vehicle as it was heading back to what they believe was the suspect's car. They had ordered the suspect to get out. They said he had a gun, ordered him to drop the gun, but he didn't do so, and that's when he was shot by a deputy out here, shot several times and taken to the hospital. He's in last check critical but stable condition.
While Trent was being treated, Savannah's family was plunged into profound grief. Shirley, who had witnessed her daughter's murder, couldn't escape the haunting memory of the gunshots ringing out in what was once a family home. The two children, William and Mackenzie, lost their mother, while their father became a murderer. The Lamarck community, accustomed to minor crimes like theft, had never seen such a brutal incident. But the story didn't end there. Trent's journey after leaving the hospital would further enrage everyone. After 6 weeks of treatment in the hospital, Trent recovered and was transferred to Harris County Jail to await trial on murder charges. In Texas, this offense wasn't classified as capital murder, so he was still eligible for bail. Shockingly, Trent's family, specifically his parents, paid $450,000 to secure his release that very night. With this amount, he was freed under conditions: wearing an ankle monitor, not leaving Harris County, staying at his mother's house from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and only leaving for grocery shopping or to meet his lawyer. But Trent didn't comply. Just a few weeks later, he missed a court hearing, violating his bail conditions for the first time. Then he was caught driving with a fake license plate and keeping 3 additional plates in his car. He was also fined for traffic violations. Astonishingly, even after 3 violations, the court didn't revoke his bail. Trent even brazenly posted photos on social media, flaunting weekend trips to Galveston Bay as if nothing had happened. This behavior infuriated Savannah's family, especially Shirley, who couldn't believe the man who killed her daughter was roaming free. On his 4th violation, on April 13, 2021, Trent took things to a new level. He went to a car dealership in Houston, pretending to test drive a black Chevrolet Tahoe. While on the road with a salesperson, he stopped at a gas station, pulled a knife, threatened the employee, forced them out of the vehicle, and stole the SUV to flee. The dealership posted security camera footage on social media, and many recognized Trent Paschal, the murderer who had once dominated headlines. By the time police arrived at his mother's house to rearrest him, they found only his destroyed ankle monitor lying abandoned on the floor. After stealing the Chevrolet Tahoe and abandoning his ankle monitor, Trent officially became a fugitive. He vanished from Texas, leaving Savannah's family in constant fear. The police and the U.S. Marshals Task Force launched a large-scale manhunt, but Trent proved to be cunning. He didn't keep the stolen SUV for long, switching to a small pickup truck, and was last seen leaving his mother's house on a scooter. Investigator Chase Hunt, who led the pursuit, described Trent as arrogant and overly confident, predicting he might be hiding in a motel with someone unaware of his crimes. In reality, Trent had fled to an RV park in Florida, living under the alias Trevor Stevenson. He started a new life with Katherine Johnson, who knew nothing of his past. To her, Trent was a gentle, divorced father who loved the nomadic lifestyle. They drank beer together, stargazed, explored caves and waterfalls, a peaceful life that lasted 8 months. Almost romantic, isn't it? During this time, his family in Texas faced the risk of losing their home, as the $450,000 bail money might not be refunded due to his flight. On New Year's Eve 2021, Katherine stumbled upon Trent's wallet and discovered his true identity. Suspicious, she searched Trent Paschal online and learned he was a wanted murderer. Fearing for her life, she immediately called the police. Authorities swiftly surrounded the trailer where Trent was hiding. As they prepared to apprehend him, a single gunshot rang out. Trent had taken his own life, ending it in the first moments of 2022, robbing Savannah's family of the chance to see him face justice. Trent Paschal's death on New Year's Eve 2021 didn't bring relief to Savannah's family. It only deepened their disappointment. Shirley, Savannah's mother, had hoped to see her daughter's killer stand trial and face the consequences of his crimes. But Trent, with his controlling nature, chose to end his own life, ensuring no one could judge him. This left Savannah's family feeling that justice had been stolen from them, though Shirley said bluntly, "I'm not sorry he's gone. He's no longer a threat to my family or society." The 2 children, William and Mackenzie, suffered the greatest loss. They lost their mother in an instant, and their father became a murderer who later took his own life. Shirley and Michael, the children's maternal grandparents, became their primary caregivers, living in constant vigilance, unsure of what Trent might have done to them before his death. They never let the kids go outside alone, always fearing the repercussions he left behind. The Lamarck community was also deeply affected as a once peaceful town became the epicenter of tragedy. Katherine Johnson, the woman who lived with Trent in his final months, was also swept into a vortex of pain. She had seen him as a gentle, caring man, with no suspicions until she uncovered the truth. After reporting him to the police, Katherine was consumed by guilt, blaming herself for Trent's death. Less than a year later, she passed away. Though the cause wasn't disclosed, many speculated she might have taken her own life due to psychological strain. From Savannah, the 2 children, the Kinchin family, to Katherine, Trent left behind a long list of victims, people harmed by his selfishness and violence. His elderly parents were too old to recover the $450,000 they had paid for his bail. The Trent Paschal case was not just a family tragedy, it also exposed serious flaws in the Texas justice system. The fact that Trent was granted bail for $450,000 despite being charged with murder raised many eyebrows. In Texas, only those accused of capital murder are ineligible for bail, while Trent's charge still allowed him that opportunity. Even more striking, after being released, he repeatedly violated his conditions, skipping court, using fake license plates, stealing a car. Yet it wasn't until his fourth violation that the court revoked his bail. By then, Trent had long fled. The ankle monitor, meant to track Trent's every move, became a laughingstock. Later, data revealed it stayed at his mother's house 90% of the time, often removed and left charging while he roamed freely, even posting photos on social media. Savannah's family, especially Shirley, couldn't fathom why the police and courts were so slow to act. They had warned multiple times that Trent was a danger, but no one responded in time. Had the monitoring system been stricter, Trent might not have escaped and taken his own life, denying them a fair trial. After Trent's death, Shirley spoke out forcefully, calling for bail law reforms. She wanted people like Trent to face stricter release conditions and for monitoring devices to be managed more rigorously.
Did I want him to be held responsible for his actions? Did I want to look him in the eye and for him to face me again with what he had done? Yes. Am I sorry that he no longer walks on this earth? No. We will continue to honor our daughter's memory by fighting for bond reform and bringing light to a justice system that not only failed us and her children, but so many other victims. I think there needs to be stricter monitoring on the ankle monitors. Once the subpoena was done, which it was done after he committed theft of the vehicle, it was found out that his ankle monitor had been on the charger at his mother's home almost 90% of the time.
Savannah Pascal was not only a victim of a horrific crime, but also a symbol of compassion and resilience. Before her death, she lived wholeheartedly for her family and community. As a devoted mother, she always put William and Mackenzie first, playing games with them, baking together, and enjoying days at the beach. Her work at the funeral home was more than a job. It was a passion where she used her gentleness and skill to comfort grieving families. Even in death, Savannah continued to help others through organ donation, leaving behind a legacy of kindness that transcended tragedy. Her case left a profound lesson about domestic violence and the dangers of toxic relationships. Trent, who appeared as a loving husband on social media, was in reality a controlling and violent man, reminding us not to judge someone solely by what they display. Savannah was once trapped in that cycle but sought to break free, though the cost was far too high. Her story serves as a wake-up call to recognize and support victims of domestic violence before it's too late. Ultimately, the case closed with Trent's death, but the pain of Savannah's family and her 2 children lingers. They've chosen to move forward by fighting for justice and reform, ensuring no one else endures what they did. Savannah, with her radiant smile and warm heart, will forever be an inspiration to live kindly and love one another. Her journey, though brief, proves that even in darkness, the light of goodness can shine through. For each of us, the question remains, what will we do to make this world a place with fewer tragedies like this? What do you think about this case? Share your thoughts and let's discuss. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you. See you next time.